Eureka. So, I have cards and I want to read some stuff, but I have to tell you that I tried to do this, start recording this a couple of times already, and my phone was like, no. It had some message for me, and it was like, you can't because of this, and I was like, well, which one of that do I have to do something to make you work? And it was like, I'm not going to tell you. And so I had to, like, do some tech detecting, and I found it wasn't, like, a difficult fix. And I had to do it with my other phone yesterday, so I didn't really realize that Mercury was in retrograde. Oh, look, I froze. I didn't realize Mercury was in retrograde, but there you go. Thank you for not corresponding, but thank you for chiming in, Mercury in retrograde. So, I've talked about in the past, like, as you, like, are in your awakening thing, you go through stages. Like, it starts and it progresses and it goes on. And I noticed, like, pretty early on, let me take a drink of water. That it'll start looking different. Like, if you have any kind of, like, visual effect, but I'm sure it applies to any sort of effect that you're feeling as you're having, like, your Kundalini awakening or subsequent awakenings as a part of it, I guess, like, later. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I noticed. So at one point I noticed that I started to see stuff and I got real excited, and because I learned that, like, the stuff that I was seeing were certain things and they meant certain things, and I was like, oh, like, excited and giddy. And then after a while, and I think it's because of where you have your attention, like what you are actually tuning into. It's like the algorithm on YouTube. Like, I have a bunch of subscriptions, but if I start looking at something else, whether I'm subscribed to it or not, it's going to move to the top of the pile, in a way, to the top of the feed, and then other stuff, something is going to get moved out of the way, because my little phone does not have endless capacity for storage or whatever is required. So I stopped seeing the things that I was very excited about, and then I was like, okay, I gotta, like, snap back into shape and get back into disciplined routine and do whatever I was doing when I was seeing it before. And there's definitely something to that, because it's sort of like a drunk thinking that they can, like, have a drink because they were able to not drink for 5 years. And, like, it'll be fine, but if you're the kind of drunk where you have to quit completely and you are, like, keeping count of the years, you're like an AA attendee, which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but that's a whole program and set of behavior for people that need help stopping, like, destroying their life with alcohol, being an alcoholic. Like, they need help. They can't just do it themselves and, like, go finish going through whatever had them start drinking in the first place, and, like, move on with your life. Like, they need more help. And so you can't, like, quit and then be like, well, I'll just have a little bit of heroin or whatever it is. If you have that type of addictive characteristic in your genealogy, it's one or the other, pretty much. Like, you don't get an in-between, and that's just what's on your plate. So, I don't know if that analogy even works, but anyway, it went away, and then so I got back on my program and started, like, acting right, and it did, like, bring me back to that place. So, God, you really do have to, like, kind of stay on yourself and pay attention, especially now because that type of thing, like whatever your vibration is doing, is effective immediately almost in like whatever you're thinking or saying. And I didn't think I would ever be able to get any kind of a handle on it, but I'm done doing it. So dream that you can also do it if you're into that kind of thing. So I have learned that it comes and goes, and it really depends kind of on like what my vibration is, like how clean is my aura, I guess, like how much junk and crap is getting stuck in, like when I was a kid, my hair, I just have over the past like couple of years had alopecia, so the volume of my hair is vastly reduced. But when I was a kid, I had pigtails, and my mom would make them so tight that I'd have a headache by the end of the day, and I'd just take the whole thing loose. And those were like down to here, so, you know, my hair was really tightly curly, and it was long, is what I'm saying. But I went to elementary school at one point, and the school was on the corner of my block, and it was a very long block, but I was about a third of the way down, which means the school was really freaking close to my house. So I'd get out of school at the end of the day and take out the rubber band and unbraid it and all of that, and just like, you know, release the tension on my scalp, you know. And by the time I'd get home, my hair would be full of static. There'd be like little bits of torn, like, blue line notebook paper in my hair. I have found, like Wrigley's gum wrapper in my hair, because it's, like, got that silvery stuff on the one side of the paper. And this is, like, I don't know, a 300-yard walk from the school to my house. But you just sort of pick up stuff unintended in your aura, and like whatever attracts it to it. Like with my hair, it was static electricity, but we have like electricity and magnetism and other stuff I probably don't know how to talk about. So my point is that you kind of have to like detox yourself and get clean, or like empty the cache of your algorithm so that you can sort of start all over, and the subscriptions that you just weren't really watching anyway, you could just kind of let those go. And I guess that's kind of a metaphor for like cleaning up your own aura. Anyway, I have talked about recently, like, am I going to make it like in the Great Awakening, or I'm going to have to be like relegated to a negative world? And I don't know. I mean, I guess I was having like imposter syndrome or something, because even as I was doing that, I had many indicators of past and current things happening in my life to indicate that negative world is not the one that I'm headed for. But if you are watching the Galactic Federation stuff, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Or if you know anything about the Great Awakening, and I know it's like QAnon sounding stuff, it's actually just that they talked about it. It's not their thing. That's who I actually learned about this stuff from. Like, I'm sure I would have come upon it on my own regardless at some point, but they were just like a sort of a point in my personal history that was actually like, it had way more going on than I realized at the time. Like, still around 10 years later, things about that whole time I was interacting with those people are like unfolding and informing me in ways that are just surprising me. Like, oh, there's something more still to that. Fascinating. What do you say? Except, I don't know, thank you. That's a lot, or that's interesting. Wow, my filming is glitching weirdly. I'm not doing it. So, like, if it's looking weird, just know that I do not know how to do that kind of thing. But remember that it is Mercury retrograde. Okay, so I've yammered for 10 minutes. Let me do the things. Okay, so first, I'm going to read a little thing that I wrote, because that's what I do, I guess, now. Wait, where's the beginning of it? Sorry, I'd be great if I had some background music while I'm got my face in the notebook and you're waiting. Okay, practicing dimensional travel. That's what I've been doing with intent. It's something we do without realizing we're doing it. That was the start of it. Some recognition and identification. I had to identify something to even begin to think it was something I was doing. Okay? Let me try that again. I had to identify something to even begin to think it was something I was doing. It was like, get to one place and then realize, oh, there's more to go. Like, what did I just say about the information just unfolding endlessly? Like, it was spooling off into this fractal forever. That is probably really close to the truth, though. Sorry, that was an aside. Let me get back in it. Okay. To me, there are 3 phenomena that I've attached to dimensional stuff to help me, understand it. Timeline / quantum jumping. Quantum? What is that? Timeline / quantum jumping. Where, because you've changed your vibration, you move to another dimension, not necessarily starkly different from the one you started out in. Changing your mood. That's number 2. If you're in a dark place or at rock bottom, we have these terms that give a sense of place, but physically you're not there. You're where you are still, but you feel that way. And what is that feeling? I would say vibration. So depending on how you feel, you change your mind or you have help changing it. We tire of feeling dreadful or sad and joyless, and we pull ourselves out of it. This is 3. As if we've been in a hole or cave. We give a feel or vibration and conjure up a sense of place. In other cases, a friend might come along and cheer us up, knowing we only need a little nudge to help us step from the darkness we can lose ourselves in. A temporary, hopefully, lose ourselves in. A temporary, hopefully, our emotions. Okay, I don't know, I wrote that kind of weird, but help us step from a darkness we can lose ourselves in. That's temporary, hopefully, and it is our emotions. I don't know why I didn't just write it like that, but anyway, we lose sight of the path to the exit, and they come along and pull us out of there with humor, with some kind of input other than yours to see things in a new light. Oh, I guess that was still second ways, because this next paragraph says, the third is the way we respond to external conditions and the ways we choose to engage with them or not. Do we pay so much attention out of fear or rage that we are pulled, basically, give consent to being affected by them, sucked in? The other option is to simply observe and go, wow, there's something going on there, and then returning our attention to our own business. It took some time to make these distinctions and the ability to discern the differences was something that I was only able to do after I made some IDs and distinctions about myself. I feel like in our own unique ways, we mature and make these realizations. Realify. So, okay. There. Got that out of the way. And then I had pulled some cards from the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck, and when I pulled them out and I looked at them, I was like, oh, I don't even know if I like this, because I don't know. I guess I felt like it was not saying what I wanted to hear. What did I do here? But then I looked at them and it was like, oh, okay. So, first card here is Fool's Embrace. And what I've been learning from the Galactic Light Federation channel stuff is that the people that sort of know what's happening as far as they're concerned, and a bunch of other things that are sort of like not mainstream stuff, but are, I guess, considered kind of weirdo quack stuff, because a lot of it can be associated with QAnon, but who cares? Like, just because they know about it and talk about it doesn't mean that the actual subject matter has anything wrong with it. Just because it's, outside of just sort of like accepted thought and discussion doesn't mean it can't. We don't know like all of what all science is doing all the time. We don't know a lot of stuff. And if you're watching news, more and more people are becoming aware that that is like boxed up and packaged in a certain way to make you think things are a certain way, to make things look a certain way that may not be all or any of the truth. And so sometimes people that are in that sort of state of mind, or let's go with state of mind, when things outside of that they already are like, I don't know if I want anything to do with that, and they don't even know what you're talking about. It's like they kind of know, but they don't want to deal with it. So it's a whole thing. Like, I think it's part of what the packages of mainstream news give you. Like, that, thanks, that's the gift. They help, like, make you not want to look at the truth, which is insane, because you get hurt if you don't see stuff like that. That's just my opinion. So anyway, this card is the Fool's Embrace card, and the subtitle is Transmuting Pain. And the reason why I just made that whole little monologue there, I just did, was because the people that know what's coming, because they know what the Galactic Federation is talking about, that would be so hard for just like your regular normie person to accept, is that the aliens are real. They don't want to eat us. They do want to help us. They have lots to tell us that we don't know, that we have been prevented from knowing and distracted with gifts of fake information from the news services that once were something, they were things you could trust and look to for like good information, and then that's, oh my gosh, like a series of other videos worth of stuff to explain, so I'm not going to do that. But the people like myself that are incarnated on this earth and have started to understand, like, what am I really here for? Like, like, what is my purpose? That I'm sorry, I say it like that because I know people look for it and yearn for it, and I was like, oh, am I supposed to care about that? I'm sorry. I have never said, what is my purpose in life? Like, that just never even occurred to me, but, woo, anyway. I get it now. And it's basically like, I know now and have known for a while that the possibility of something completely unbelievable and perhaps scary because of most of the way it's been presented, people it's going to take them a minute to understand that, like, aliens are not out to get us or eat us. Like, it's just going to take a minute for that whole, like, imagery to, like, shake loose and get out. And that leaves the people like myself who are, as you can see, no antennas. I'm not green or anything. But I can at least accept the idea that they are there and they do exist in those ways. Or just ways we've been presented in our media, like years and years of books and television and movies of science fiction and space operas and space people and space travel. Like, we really got to think about space. There's a reason for that, and that's being revealed, and it does have to do with space people. What do you think all those movies were about? I've been saying for years then that, you know, people are looking for full disclosure about ETs and what do we know about them and what do we do with them, and I want answers now. We've been getting not straight answers, but answers embedded in things, like just threaded through items that, like I said, don't necessarily portray extraterrestrials or extra-dimensional beings in a positive light. You know, what they do portray is not as big a threat as they would have us believe. It's not a threat here. What may have been the case in the past is no longer the case. We are, like, really protected from that type of thing so that we can actually get on with making introductions with each other. And it's not even going to be something immediate, but the point is that the people that are not freaked out about it for whatever reason, and that can act as, like, intermediaries in a period where alien ideas are going to start getting introduced to us, and in every sense of the word, like, it's going to go beyond ETs, it's going to go beyond Earth Ts, terrestrials, and be really shocking. But a lot of that has been kind of slowly bled into, like, the consciousness in various ways. Like, there's going to be some, like, brace yourself for ugly stuff to come, even worse than what you're used to. But the thing is like, we are kind of used to it, so you'll have, like, the support of other people that are not freaking out about it, and you can at least take comfort and go, well, why aren't they freaking out? Because I want to not be freaking out too. That's what we're here for, to help. So, the next card is, not all of us, some of us. There's, you know, this is like a gradual thing. It happens for people in stages. It happens for, you know, it helps to have someone, like a sponsor, like an AA. Whoop, full circle. Okay, so the next card is Falling Angel. And I want to stress that it says falling, not fallen. Just not even the same thing, so just go out of that tab. The subtitle on this card is Spiritual Narcolepsy. You know, it's interesting. This picture on here looks very much like a bride and groom. And in popular culture right now, weddings are such a big deal that they make TV shows about it. They make TV shows about people misbehaving during the process, leading up to the marriage. There's movies about it. Like, we make a big deal of getting married, and the more fancy it looks and the more, like, money you can spend on it, and whatever, marriage signal on social media. But it's not, like, why marriage is there. Like, it's not there to, like, pump up your public image. It is a partnership, and it has more meaning than material stuff and people looking at you and your material stuff. And that is a type of spiritual narcolepsy, but also that would apply to those people that are not really ready to hear what the truth is, even though they might scream and yell for it. Be careful what you ask for. So then in the my phone is telling me stuff, and I don't know if it's going to cut out or what, but let me just hurry. So the next card is Deep Diver, and usually that indicates like the querent. Like if there was a person that I was doing a reading for, it would be like the answer to what they need to be doing. Like you need to like go within and, you know, do a deep dive and like see if you can get to the root of this, and then it'll lead you to the answer of why that is this way, or like you'll make connections. But I'm feeling like this time it's like when you dive, like snorkeling or I guess deep sea diving with the tanks and everything, they do it using something called the buddy system, and it's not the only place, but it is the first place I heard the term used. And you definitely want to have somebody with you down there in case of some kind of emergency that you, like in many, many TV shows I saw as a child, like the moment of action and tension was the underwater sea fight where like they'd be fighting with knives, and then one of them would cut the air hose on the back of the person, and they wouldn't know it right away. And then, like, you eventually know because you're not getting any air, but you're like under the sea. And so, and you're not supposed to go up really fast because it'll just make the insides of you like try to do stuff before the pressure in your body is ready to accommodate that. Those are technical terms. But, yeah, I mean, it is just good when you're underwater where air and good light are possibly not in immediate reach and you might need it to be. You know, if you were alone, you would definitely need it to be, because maybe you just, like, accidentally hit a dial or a knob on your tank, you know, swimming past some coral, and you don't know that it's like turned off the air mixture and you're getting only carbon monoxide. Like, so many like weird bad things can happen to you, and then not to mention the things that could like eat you or just bite you or sting you, burn you, like whatever's down there. It could be totally fine, but just in case, it's good to have a buddy to have your back, to actually look at your back and make sure everything's okay. You get my point. So, diving into a task is the subtitle on this one. And I don't know, like, if you feel like it's a task, I at one time I might have agreed with that, but now I just feel like if you feel like taking good care of yourself is a task, maybe you need to meditate more and treat yourself to more treating yourself to good time, me time. Like, pay attention to yourself, because talking with yourself, that should not be a task. I mean, you might be your harshest critic, but no one knows you better. No one loves you more. No one knows what you love more than you. So, I mean, if you look at it as a task, I just feel like you're making it harder for yourself. This is you. Tell yourself, this is me. It's okay to do this. Like, everything else, if I'm concerned about everything else getting done right, it's not gonna until I do this, because if this card comes up, that's what's called for. Like, you would do well by yourself to go deep within, you know, find what's submerged and, you know, free it, fix its air tube, and then everyone's free and happy to slowly and carefully make their way up to the surface, whole and intact. And, you know, with the help of your buddy. So that's good. I don't know how that would play out in anyone's personal life. It's just like, I guess, a metaphor for you to, like, play around with. Okay, so the next card is Mindful. and it's not the being present mindful, it's mindful of stuff. And you can see there's a lot of images on here, and some of them are clear, some of them are kind of blurry as if they're like memories. There's a green pyramid in the background, which is it a pyramid or a tree? Either way, like a tree or a pyramid, a green one is a good symbol because that's like growth. It's not a pyramid in the sense of like a pyramid scheme. Pyramids, the shape of them has a lot of power. Like even like looking at the way they're built kind of tells you something. It's got this huge broad foundation. It is like big enough to be a landmark from space, which I think it kind of is. On the Plaza of Giza, well, we haven't really gotten to have like long, good, thorough access to these things, and they've been like not letting people know what's happening outside of Egypt, and like locking other scientists out of discoveries. I don't know if it's politics, or it's probably politics, but probably other stuff that we just don't know about yet. And so, but they're healing centers. I know that, or I have learned that throughout, especially their early history, when they were doing what they were intended to be doing, like they're not tombs. They'd be closer to a church or a hospital, I think, but definitely a gathering place. I think it was multi-purpose, but for good, healthful things. So green is the color of Angel Raphael, and that is the angel with the caduceus, which would be like the medicine, healing god being. And then the subtitle of this is groupthink, and maybe what it also signifies, like the whole picture, is a change that we're all, humanity, kind of experiencing right now, where as we are sort of realizing that the many of us, speaking of pyramids, the bad kind, that are sort of beneath the few at the top, the little teeny pinheads at the top, they have like all of the like currency that everyone in the world has agreed is like worth something, whether it's actual like monetary currency or literal commodity of human currency in some way. Because we're traded as human beings, not just trafficking wise, like all of us at work, like voluntarily showing up for these jobs that, you know, some of them are not great for a lot of us to have for mental reasons and health reasons. You know, some, like, just some workplaces and the way they operate are just not good for people. You know, when profit is what's more important, then that's not going to be good for people. And so it's sort of putting us in a place where a lot of people are recognizing, well, there's us and there's them and there's more of us. And I don't mean it to be like all pugnacious, but it's just sort of like, we can count on each other. We know each other better. We can like relate to each other better. And we're also, for the most part, not trying to do to each other what the people at the top of the pyramid are doing to us, like taking away from us and getting rid of inconvenient people and putting them over here and like disposing of them in many unpleasant ways. And so the rest of us are like, we you know, we put up with that kind of thing for a really long time and we're done with it. So we may be, in more than one way, tuning into each other more so than the top of the pyramid. And I don't almost want to say it's like a psychic thing, but it's intense. I need to hurry up. I gotta go. Empty well. Last card. Time to replenish. We're starting all over again. We're having a reset. We are having the opportunity to rethink how we're doing things, to make it better for each other. so that we're, as a group, deciding that we don't want to be hurt and hurt each other anymore. It's positive. We can wake up. We can wake each other up. And we should, because what we haven't been paying attention to, what we haven't been told, is these people mean, like, not good for us, kind of destructive for our well-being. And so, while this is happening, it is kind of scary, and it might be like a shock and new news to a lot of people, but there are people to depend on, people to be your buddy system, to protect you while you're perhaps doing a deep dive and, like, getting a handle on these things, and maybe can't pay 100% attention to actually what's, you can't pay attention to everything if, like, everything is new to you and it's just overwhelming. So, I don't think I finished what I was saying about like seeing things, but one of the things I would see is my Merkaba. And so it started out, it was like just a gold line, and it had a certain shape, and then it went away and it came back. And so 2 days ago I was thinking, haven't seen that in a while, I wonder what's up with that, am I doing okay? And I was also worried about, like, it was like going to be in, like, the new Earth or still in the old fighting and fussing old Earth. And, yay, I'm not. And this was what really, like, brought it home. Because yesterday I felt like, okay, I'm good. You don't have to worry. Like, what are you talking about? You're already doing the things. And then today, I woke up, I did, like, the recommended Jesus-style meditation that I learned from Edgar Cayce and Dolores Cannon, and I'm terrible with taking instructions, but I've been doing some of the work, and it is working. It makes me feel better. And so today I saw my Merkaba again, and it was like this light, and I've been seeing it in various places in people, and it's like incandescent blue-white light. And it also had, like, these trails of color, like mother of pearl color, and it was just very, like, rainbow, but all changing, and a whole lot of other stuff. But it was beautiful, is the bottom line, and it just made me feel so happy and so relieved, and not just because I, like, got this thing back that makes me so happy and so giddy, like I was talking about before, but it also signified to me that regardless of if you're in, like, the new Earth or the old, like, 3D Earth, both are gonna receive, like, crystal infusions of rainbow joy. I don't know what else to call it. And depending on your receptivity, you're gonna get it, and let it in. I mean, it's not fentanyl, but you'll feel great. And then, it's not gonna kill you like fentanyl. So, I'm sorry, that was kind of harsh, but that's just what came out. Please look at my signs, and especially the part about me just hopefully entertaining you with my talk. I'm going to go, I have to restart my phone apparently. Thank you and good night.